Hi, I'm Celeste with Gulf Coast Bird Observatory, and I'm here at our headquarters in Lake Jackson, Texas. Behind me is Buffalo Camp Bayou, and if you can see, it's been covered by this invasive plant called common water hyacinth.
The common water hyacinth was originally native to South America. It was introduced into the United States in 1884 as an ornamental aquatic plant. It can now be found in freshwater systems throughout the southeast states, as well as California and Washington. Here in Texas, it's one of our most abundant invasive species.
So what is an invasive species? To understand that, let's first look at what native species are.
Native species are ones naturally found in certain ecosystems. No human intervention brought a native species to the area or influenced its spread to that area. For example, panda bears are native to China and bald eagles are native to North America. You would not naturally find a panda in Texas or a bald eagle in China unless a human being brought them there. So, what do we call the species that are brought in by humans? These are called introduced or non native species. We have many non-native species here in Texas, and many of them are welcome and beneficial to us. For example, tomatoes, cows, chickens, broccoli, and many other non-native species benefit humans. An invasive species is an organism that is non-native and causes harm when it's introduced.
The invasive species that are most problematic are the ones that spread out of control and cause great economic or environmental harm.
Invasive species can harm the habitat and prevent the growth of native species. This water hyacinth, for example, has completely grown over the bayou. The native aquatic plants that naturally grow here are now less able to grow. The hyacinth blocks out the sunlight, and the roots take up space, oxygen, and nutrients that the native plants need. As for the fish and other animals that live in the bayou, they need sunlight, oxygen, space, and nutrients too. They also require native plants to feed on. So, with this thick layer of invasive plants on its surface, the bayou habitat is suffering. Invasive species can also harm native animals more directly by eating them. Lionfish, for example, are invasive fish that we see off the coast of Texas. They are native to the Indo-Pacific but are now established along the southeast coast of the US. Since lionfish are not native to Atlantic waters, they have very few predators here. They are carnivores that feed on small crustaceans and fish, including the young of important commercial fish species, such as snapper and grouper. A large invasion of lionfish can be a serious threat to native reef fish populations. Invasive species can cause economic harm as well. They can destroy crops, land, possessions, and much more. Feral hogs, for example, can do huge economic damage by destroying crops. The pigs, which were first introduced to this continent by Spanish explorers, can eat, trample, dig up, and bury valuable crops. This is such an abundant problem that it costs Texans an estimated $118.8 million per year. Finally, invasive species can also be harmful to public health. Any damage to the environment can have repercussions on human health, and some species have more effects than others. Red imported fire ants, for example, have painful bites and can easily cause harm to humans, pets, and livestock. These ants were brought into the States, presumably by accident, in the 1930s and have been a growing nuisance ever since. So, as you can see, invasive species can do some serious damage. These organisms can have an enormous and lasting effect on our ecosystems, economy, and health. With all of these nasty effects, it's easy to hate these species. But of course, the water hyacinth didn't grow legs and walk to America on its own. It and all the other invasive species were brought here by humans. Thus, it falls on us to take care of this problem. The most economical and safest way to manage invasive species is by preventing its arrival in the first place. Once the species has infested an area, it can be difficult to manage, so prevention is ideal. This means weeding out invasive species from your property, not planting invasive species to begin with, and not releasing any imported animals into the wild. You can also be sure to thoroughly clean your belongings when you travel to other places, like cleaning your boat when you go from one lake to another to prevent the spread of invasive mussels.
We hope you enjoyed this video and learned a lot about invasive species. To learn more about birds and bird conservation, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel or visit us at www.gcdo.org.